Barack Yahuwah family did say that he has made me glad and rejoice, and I know you can't see me right now, but I can hope that you see the spirit behind this message. Now, with that being said, Agent Orange is talking about invoking the Insurrection Act, which would basically give the military the power to act as police, right, and arrest U.S. citizens. Now, what I'm going to tell you and how this is going to play out is like this. Is what right now we are in a 3-phase collapse. Okay, so how this is going to work, pay attention, is right now phase 1 of this collapse is basically a soft version of martial law, or in other words, it's the National Guard getting people used to the military having a soft, quote unquote, soft presence in our lives in the big cities, right, in the daily lives of Americans. Now, when things really go haywire, when they get to going, what's going to happen is when the dollar crashes, World War III starts, the draft comes back, you name it, you're going to know it because you're going to feel it. So is everybody else. So the second phase is going to be when there's a formal declaration of martial law. Okay, and what's going to happen is that is most likely going to be when the dollar goes boom, because everybody's going to go crazy, so they're going to have to put boots on the ground. And what I mean by active military is Army, Navy, Marines, you name it, right? So it's going to be active military and maybe even reserves. So with that being said, your third phase is once the dollar goes boom, and now not only is this a United States crisis, but the economy collapsing in the United States is going to trigger a worldwide collapse of everything else, of all the other world economies, which are already on their last leg too, but they just won't tell you that part because they tell you look at all their stock markets, and if you actually look under the hood, you know what I mean, then you would see that, you would be able to see that it's not just, if you look past the stock market and all these economies, they're not doing well, right? And even if they were, the United States alone with all this debt and the United States being the leader is enough to cause a worldwide Great Depression, essentially. And so I say that to say this, is that once the dollar collapse triggers a worldwide problem, right, the UN is going to be prompted to give a worldwide solution. And so what's going to end up happening is that's the phase 3. That's when the UN, once it becomes a worldwide issue and it drags on for a little bit, that's when the UN is going to put boots down all around the country. Okay, and I'm not telling you this to scare you, but to be a vessel to prepare your mind, heart, and soul, because I want you to see that this is not left versus right. This is not red versus blue. This is not white versus black. This is simply good versus evil. Job 9:24 says the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Luke 4:5-8 said the devil tempted the Messiah and said that, and basically told him that if he would give him the kingdoms of the world, that that he would give him the kingdoms of the world if he bowed and worshiped him, right? And obviously Messiah said no and rebuked him with the word, but what I'm trying to tell you is don't fear what man can do to you. Don't be scared of ICE, because the judgment of the Most High is on this nation. And again, 2 Peter 3, he's not coming with a flood, he's coming with fire. And fire burns ice every time, baby. And ice always melts under pressure, which is why these cowards have to go around wearing masks, right? Because they can't handle the pressure of showing who they are. See, us true believers, we're out here. We're showing our face. We're giving people clear direction by the guidance of the Most High. But see, you're going to know the mark of a man because they have to hide, because they're scared, right? They have to wear masks and work in numbers because and half of I can't even go there right now because I got to be careful what I say on here. But it's nothing crazy. But I just want you to be able to, guys, continue to be able to see my content. So we're going to go ahead and keep on moving. But the basis of what I'm trying to tell you is, and a lot of these ICE agents aren't even ICE. Like, these guys are probably independently contracted. ICE is literally the SS. If y'all know anything about that, I got to be careful with how I word things. But ICE is the SS, if y'all don't know. And so, don't be scared. And again, if you ever get pulled over or whatever by ICE, I'm not a legal person.
The speed limit is 35 miles per hour.
This is not legal advice, but just don't be like, I don't answer questions and request a supervisor. Heck, if ICE gets crazy as they do, I'd even request a supervisor, or I'd even call 911. You understand what I'm saying? I'd even call 911, because I'm telling you, man, these ICE people, bro, they are some of the biggest cowards. Like, and again, I'm not saying that I agree with the left and I take their side on this or nothing like that, but I'm telling you, everything that's going on is so that the National Guard can basically act in a soft version of martial law, and then when things really get crazy, because the National Guard is out here, because people are going to be like, man, we don't want the National Guard. Why are you, martial law, this and that, right? So because people are going to be so pissed off and so mad about everything that's going on, them zip tying kids, dragging them out naked, separating them from, illegally questioning them, all that other stuff, So people are going to get mad, and at some point, just like what happened with Charlie Kirk, there's going to be a trigger event. Like, you see how people, as soon as they seen that event, they were triggered. Like if you ever play football, you might hear Omaha, like you're thinking of a play, or if you are off, if you're a firefighter, your pass device goes off, or if you're a police officer and you hear certain frequencies on the radio, or if you hear a song, for those of you who aren't, you know what I mean? You hear a song that you ain't heard in 10 years, it takes you back to exactly what you were doing that moment. If you were in school, what job you were working at, that feeling of however old you were, instantly. In the same way that those programs are run, they are about to run a program, and I don't know quite the details of it, right? But I know that at some point there's going to be an event that triggers some type of civil war, race war, economic collapse, all in one, and all very subtly, right? That's being built right now, and that's when they're going to be able to have the formality to declare.
The speed limit is 20 miles per hour.
To declare martial law because of people's reaction. Because right now, I'm going to tell y'all, man, I'm going to be straight up, is don't go out here and get involved in these protests, because Satan needs people. Satan is y'all got to understand is that Satan is the big red, is not necessarily the big red devil. He is the false angel of light, and you have to come into agreement with his agenda. And the more you allow yourself to be taken over by your flesh and to feed into these narratives, and you want to go out here and protest and riot and do whatever people do now, you are giving him the spiritual energy he needs, the legal agreement he needs, or people are giving him that on a mass level to where he's going to be able to do this, because enough people are so angry that they have come into agreement with their anger. So stay out the way, speak respectfully to ICE, don't go off, this is not about starting a physical revolution. This should start a spiritual revolution in your heart, to repent, to turn back, to seek the Creator while he can be found. Because I'm telling you, with everything that's going on, and pretty soon seek him while his face can be found, because pretty soon he's going to hide his face, man. The world's about to enter from the dispensation. It's about to go from being in what most people and preachers would call being in the dispensation of grace to entering into the dispensation of wrath. Now, with that being said, I know I talk you guys' head off, but don't, with ICE, with police, be formal. What I'm trying to tell you is, I'm not trying to tell you this so you can go start a physical revolution. I'm telling you this so a spiritual revolution can happen in your heart, so that you can seek the face of the Creator while he can be found. I'm telling you this so that you can choose, because really, I'm not advocating for anything I just said to happen. But what I am advocating for is a fulfillment of Bible prophecy. And the only question that truly remains is, what side of it will you be on? And who will you serve? Will it be the God of the Bible, who is about to bring us to the restoration of Israel, which is why all this is happening, because he's going to hold the world ransom for us? Or are you going to serve your own will? Are you going to serve Satan? Choice is yours. Jeremiah, Joshua 24:15, choose whom this day you will serve. I love you, family. Choose now, if you haven't already. Shalom.